Hey everyone, Keith McGinnis here at KCDC Designs out of Eagle, Nebraska. So I've had a lot of questions, and I really appreciate everybody's support on some of the alcohol dye technique projects that I've recently posted. It's a really cool technique, and I have to thank Clara Lawrence with Clara Lawrence Art and Rhonda Draculis with RK3 Designs for showing us this. Clara is absolutely the master with alcohol dyes, as well as alcohol inks, but the alcohol dyes work best for countertops because a lot of the alcohol inks will fade. So a lot of the questions have come up about, Keith, what colors do you use? And, it's such a conglomeration of just adding different dyes and different mica powders to come up with the colors that you like and the colors that you're after. There's really no type of color, I guess. So what I wanted to do today is just to show you a little bit. I'm going to mix up a couple different colors. I have no idea what we're going to come up with, but let's see what we come up with. So these are some of the colors that I already have mixed up, and Clara had shown a couple recipes on one of her videos. This one is called Smoky Blue. This was one I made, and this is just Alumilite brown dye. That one is Smoky Ocean. That one is Warm Gray, and this is the 007 Gold. And the 007 is a color from Color Obsession, and it works really, really well with this technique because this is a mica powder that remains on the surface, and because of that, it creates some really cool veins that when the light reflects off of it, it really stands out and can really take that project to another level. So I'm going to set these off to the side, and then I'll do a little bit of a demonstration just to show how some of these colors work, and I may even do that first. These are the bottles. They come with, and I'll try to post the link, but they come with a nice little cap that goes on, and you mix it, you put it in there, and you can put the cap on it. They work fantastic, and they work really good for just shooting out, I guess, the amount that you're after. So let's do this first. I'm going to get a little bit of, that's a color I mixed up. I have a small bottle that I'll use for maybe covering some larger areas with clear alcohol. And then I will always have a small bottle with clear alcohol if I want to concentrate more of just putting a fine amount in, or maybe where I want to move around some particular veins. So let's just get some alcohol on here. I'm going to try a couple different things too here while we're at it. So I'm just going to get some alcohol on here. I just use a plain regular hairdryer, and you always want to make sure that you shake your colors up really well. So I'm going to put a little bit of that color, and let's put this little bit of Warm Gray, and I'm going to put a drop of the Alumilite brown, just a drop or two. And what else do I have? Why not? Let's go with a little Smoky Ocean. Then I'm going to take my hairdryer, and wherever you have alcohol is where it's going to spread to. Now, let's say that I don't like that and I want to move, maybe I want to move some of this around a little bit, and I just want to soften. Maybe I just don't have a whole lot of alcohol in there and I just want to move that whole thing around a little bit. And maybe layer a little bit more color on there. And then let's get some of the 007 Gold in there. Hello. Always an adventure. .007 Gold, you really want to make sure you shake up well. You're probably not able to see it, but the gold absolutely looks amazing. I don't know if there's any glare in there or if that helps any. But that 007 gold really does make a big difference. Okay, so you know what? I've decided I really don't like that very well. So I'm just going to get some alcohol on there and let's just wipe it off. So if you start doing something and you don't like it, that's the greatest part about this technique is wipe it off and start over. So the gist of this video is the colors and how you can mix up the colors, just to give you an idea, but you're just going to have to experiment and find out how much of this, how much of that until you get the color that you want. But let's start off with your substrate. This is actually a sink cutout from a bathroom vanity that I did, so it already has some undertones. But with the last few projects that I did, after I applied the Stone Coat Epoxy white undercoat, you can just put a clear layer of epoxy, but what I did was I used I created a base coat using white metallic, and then also I have a pearl gold, which is really cool. And I poured that out and melded that in. That ended up being my base coat. And then you want to wait at least 24 hours for that epoxy to set. Now you have an extremely smooth surface. And that's what's allowing you, once you put the alcohol down, to disperse your alcohol dyes to get them to move around where you want. And that's why I was able to just wipe it off and start over. This actually has the UTC gloss on it, but again, it's a practice piece, and it's what I use to try to develop my colors. I have these small Dixie cups. I wish I had some clear cups. I'm going to get some, and I don't have them yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get, each one of those bottles holds 1 ounce. So I'm going to put about 1 ounce of alcohol in there, and let's make, I don't know what we're going to make. We'll call this a smoky gray, and I know I just grabbed an empty bottle of black. Okay, so I'm going to put in this one, I'm going to put, let's put 2 drops of black. 1, 2. I can make a mess out of anything. And then I've got an ocean blue and translucent blue. So let's put 1 drop of the ocean blue in there. Maybe that hasn't even been opened. That hasn't even been opened. So we have 2 drops of Alumilite black, 1 drop of Alumilite blue. I'm just going to stir those up. Now when I get the color the way I like it, then I'll put it in the squeeze bottle, and that'll be a lot easier to shake up. So once again, we've got 2 drops of black, 1 drop of blue. We're going to get some alcohol on the surface. And let's just drop some of that on there. Oh, that's kind of cool. Okay, now that's got quite a bluish tint to it, so I'm going to add 2 more drops of black. 1, 2, and let's see how much of a difference that makes in the color. By the way, these little red Solo cups are horrible because they've got a little groove down on the bottom of them, and it's really hard to get it mixed up. So let's see if we got some bit of a difference in color. So that darkened that up quite a bit. So that's kind of a, wow, that's a pretty cool color. It's kind of a dark, gotta be creative to be able to put names to this. And I'm not. So we've got that. Oh, let's see. That still has quite a bluish tint to it. What happens if I add 1 drop of brown? So now we have 4 drops of black, 1 drop of translucent blue, and we're going to put 1 drop of brown. I thought I used the ocean blue, but I didn't. So let's see what difference that brown made. That's pretty. I'm going to add some gold and see if you can get an idea of how much that gold really makes a difference. See how that's kind of running away from me over there? So I'm just going to get some alcohol over there and we'll just run it back. I should have had a piece prepped. That's looking pretty cool. So all the colors that you see on there were just from that 1 cup. I started with 2 drops of black, 1 drop of blue. Then we added, 2 more drops of black. And then I added a drop of brown. And that's 3 or 4 different colors just in that piece. And that made quite a bit of difference. So now let's do the same thing, but let's do it with some mica powders. Now the 2 mica powders that I have from Resin Art is, I have Caribbean Sea, that's the Resin Art, Caribbean Sea, and then also Mermaid. One is a green, one is a blue. So once again, we'll go with about 1 ounce of alcohol in there, and let's start with a little bit of the Caribbean Sea. Now this is a really, really fine powder. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that's a really fine powder. And I think I had one of my colors that actually would stain the surface. But I'm going to put in, again, it's experimenting, but I'm going to put in about that much into the alcohol. And get that mixed up. I think I'm going to add a little bit more. And then what you'll discover is when you get these colors down onto the surface, the more you blow them out, the more translucent or the more transparent they're going to be. If you want some areas where the color is going to be a little more bold, then don't blow it out as much. Okay, so again, this was Caribbean Sea. Should we start with a clean surface again? Why don't we? Let's start with a clean surface. It's like an eraser on a chalkboard, right? Now, if I can't draw, I couldn't draw a stick man if my life depended on it. But if I were to practice, to think maybe that I could, how nice would that be that I could just erase the slate and start over again. Okay, so once again, this is the Caribbean Sea. So once again, let's get a little alcohol on the surface. Got it on my fingers now too. All right, so I'm not able to shake up the bottle obviously because I don't have it in a bottle, but let's put a little bit of that on there. Let's see how that blows out. Okay, that's kind of a cool color. What would happen if we put a drop of black in there? See, if I were doing this live, y'all could tell me what you wanted. Okay, so now we have just the Caribbean Sea. And you can see how transparent that color is. And then I just added 1 drop of black Alumilite dye. And I can already tell that made quite a bit of difference. So let's put just a little bit of that in there. Okay, that added a cool contrast. Someone was asking me how I got the hard lines, which are going to be something like that. And that's from blowing it out and then just letting it dry kind of in place. So what I might do is take a little bit of another color and run some of that along there. Let's get some more alcohol in there. And now you can see where I'm getting some more of the hard lines. So that was the Caribbean Sea plain, and then Caribbean Sea with just a drop of black. And then this other color that I mixed up. Probably have to put some names to this stuff. I'm going to get just a little bit more. It's quite a bit darker. Now let's jump that up to another level and get a little gold in there. Can you all see that? Can you see that gold? Am I able to get that glare in there at all? Just absolutely takes it to another level. So we mixed up a couple colors using just Alumilite dyes, and I've got another one that I used the Resin Art Caribbean Sea, and I'm going to experiment with one more color. This is a polycolor. This is a green pearl. This is going to be very translucent, but I really wanted to try it. I don't know how well it's going to mix in with the alcohol, but it's such a pretty color, and I think it's going to look really, really iridescent with this technique. So I'm going to mix up just a little bit, because again, I don't know how well it's going to work. But it too seems like a fairly fine powder. Even just in here, it looks really cool. All right, so let's put some of that over in here, and then maybe you'll be able to see it. Oh, I'm gonna have to put some more in there. Let's put some in here too. Wow. All right, I think we just found a new color. That is way cool. I gotta try it over here. Sorry, it's gonna be somewhat out of the camera, but I wanna try it in an open area. Oh my. Wow. Okay, that is way cool. Man, I just don't know if you're going to be able to see that or not. And things are going to run quite a bit when I tilt this, but that's all right. It's a practice piece. This down here, it's all running. This down here is the, what was it called? Pearl gold, pearl green? Green pearl. Wow, that is just amazing. All right, see how I just screwed all that up? Actually, that tilting kind of has a neat effect to it. Let's just, what happens if we just get some more alcohol on there? And just move all that back around again. Making a mess. Now obviously if my edges were rounded, this would be rolling off onto my edges. That just looks really cool. This color that I just mixed up, this green pearl, if you could see this close up, it is so iridescent. It looks absolutely amazing. Okay, I'm rambling on here. I really wanted to talk to you more about mixing up colors and how when I'm asked, Keith, what colors did you use? Really, you're making up your own. Obviously the colors that I've used here are more in the green and the blue and a little bit of the brown family, but there's no reason why you can't try some different colors with whatever you have. A lot of the metallics, a lot of the metallic mica powders are not going to work because the metallics are heavy, but if you have some metallic powders, such as this polycolor green pearl, it's a very, very fine powder. So it ended up, I've never tried it before, but it ended up, it worked really well. So don't be afraid to experiment. Don't be afraid to try some different things. And it's just amazing what you can come up with. Okay, so a couple more things about this technique. Holy cats. I'm in love. Okay, that's just like way cool. It dulled out quite a bit, but when a clear flood coat goes on there, that just looks cool. Okay, everybody, sorry. That's how the colors are mixed up. I just use small cups, mix up until I get the color that I like.
Jean Paul Charles Aymar Sartre was one of the key figures in the philosophy of existentialism.
Never know what's going to happen. But anyway, mix up the colors that you like and then put a name to it. When you buy these bottles, you will also get... Oh. It will also come with a small funnel. And so a lot of times what I'll do if I'm going to use mica powders, I'll put the mica powder in there, and then by the time you get some alcohol in there, that gets that to run through. And then that little funnel, of course, works good for getting the alcohol in there. But put a name to that color so you can kind of have reference as to what that color is. And if you want, write down a recipe. If you come up with a color that you name Smoky Ocean, have a list, have a whiteboard where you've written down what the recipe is and how you came up with that color. This is really a cool technique, and possibilities are really unlimited. And once again, if you come up with something that you don't like, spray it down, wipe it off, and start over again. So this sink cutout, I've been using this for quite a while, and I'll continue to be able to use it as a practice piece because I can wipe it off and I can start over. So that's the alcohol dye technique. I don't know who named it the watercolor technique, but it just has that watercolor look to it. But I think that confuses people. So again, this is the alcohol dyes. I've used no alcohol inks. Oh, I'm sorry. What I wanted to tell you was, let's say this is my finished piece, which actually it could be because it looks freaking amazing. I'm gonna let this dry at least 24 hours. I'm gonna make sure that all of the alcohol is completely dissipated. Then what I'm going to do is, before you put on a clear coat of resin, of epoxy, you have to make sure that you have sealed these colors, because when you put your epoxy on here, it's going to reactivate that alcohol and your colors are going to run, they're going to bleed, you're going to lose your design. So the best that we have found is Krylon UV archival spray. You can also use, if you can't find that, you can also use Rust-Oleum, but make sure that's in a matte finish. So the UV archival spray in a matte finish. If you can't find that, you can also use Rust-Oleum clear spray paint. Make sure that too is in a matte finish. And the reason why is the gloss or semi-gloss, I think it has alcohol in it, but it has, whatever it has in it, it can reactivate your colors. So the matte is what we have found to have been the best. When I say we, that's basically Rhonda, so I didn't come up with any of this stuff on my own. I'm not smart enough. What else have I used? Oh, and then I found another one that is a Krylon. It's called Krylon Matte Finish. Let me grab the bottles, cans. So here we have the Rust-Oleum Clear Matte Spray Paint. This is the Krylon Matte Finish, and it says right on the can, permanent protective matte finish, eliminates glossy sheen, non-yellowing, moisture-resistant coating, dries in minutes. I actually used that on a vanity top that I just did. And this is the Krylon UV Archival Spray, again in the matte finish. So any one of those will work, but you want to make sure you have to seal that down. 3 to 5 coats. Put the coats on very lightly, just a light dusting of each coat. Do not put it on wet. And then once that dries completely, then you're ready to put on your clear flood coat of epoxy. If you want, add some diamond dust into it. Add some gold dust into it. Whatever you want to do, but that's it. And that's what you end up with the final product. So again, that's all I've got for you. This really turned out cool. I get lucky sometimes. So that's awesome. I wish I'd have done that on a piece I had prepared. Anyway, thanks everybody. Once again, this is Keith McGinnis with KCDC Designs out of Eagle, Nebraska. I appreciate you watching. Be sure and hit the subscribe button and you'll be notified of upcoming tutorials. I'll be doing more of these, and I do have a bathroom vanity that I am putting together now, and that will be on my YouTube channel as well. So hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and once again, thank you all. Take care. We'll see you next time. Bye. So all things considered, the piece actually turned out looking really cool. The metallics, to me, those metallic powders are really important to use because the colors are so iridescent. And that pearl green, that's the first time I've tried that, and it turned out amazing. Thanks everybody for watching. Sorry for the long video. Hope you learned something, and we'll see you on the next one.